Hey everybody, welcome to another JPC's workshop video. I know it's been a while. I've been flying and not doing a lot of, videoing, but decided to take a break here and show you all what I'm working on. So this, I don't know that I've mentioned this in any of the previous videos, but this is a 60 size ugly stick, essentially, that was built directly from the original Philcraft plans, but with non-traditional materials. You can see inside here that it's pink foam and fiberglass with some wood, and the wing is, I don't know if you can hear that, kind of like a surfboard. It's also done in pink foam and fiberglass, and then it was all covered with iron-on film. If anybody's interested, this is the iron-on film that Value Hobbies sells, and it's like $15 for a 15-foot roll, so it's like half the price of Monocoat, and it's really good film. It's slightly stretchier, I think, than Monocoat or Ultracoat, but not as stretchy as the old Econocoat. But it's low enough temperature that you can put it over foam without melting it, and certainly over epoxy glass foam. And it's kind of weird. It comes in a roll. It's not on a tube. It just comes in a roll, and the only bad thing I can say about it is that the adhesive, no matter what color you get, the adhesive is white. So like on your seams, you'll get a little bit of white glue residue when you iron it down, but you can just wipe that off with some thinner, so it's not a huge deal. This is the 60-inch span version, and I tried to keep the airfoil true to the original stick, moments, layouts, everything. And unsurprisingly, it flies just like a stick, even though it's got almost no wood in it. I used my hot wire CNC to cut out the wing cores and the fuselage pieces. If you look in here, you can actually see the little layers where I used the 2-inch thick pink foam, and it's just cut out like a layer cake and stacked up and glued together, and then the whole thing's glassed. Excuse me. These bulges that you see on the inside, this is because on the outside, it's got wood stringers that run down the sides and one down the bottom. And then it's got formers here and here, and of course a firewall. And this is the landing gear mount, and you can see, if it'll focus, this is stacked layers. And this is the 5mm floor underlayment plywood stuff that you can get at your home improvement store. It's actually fairly light, and it laser cuts beautifully, which is how I did mine. Landing gear is the, one piece on each side, and it's bent with a 90-degree leg that goes up here. And the way I did this is these pieces have cutouts in them for the landing gear, so when it's all stacked and glued together, there was no drilling required. There were slots for the landing gear to go, and then it's just got the little straps holding it on, and those are actually 3D printed straps, by the way. And let's see what else was kind of interesting. This piece here is wood. The tail surfaces have a skeleton structure cut out of that plywood, and then it's just got strips of, or sheets of foam glued over top and then glassed, and they're quite strong. But the whole thing was flying with an OS 62 4-stroke, flying quite well with that actually, and it weighed just over 6 pounds, ready to go. And that's with some big old honking full-size servos that are complete overkill for the ailerons and everything. But because of the availability issues with nitro fuel and the cost of it, I decided I was done with it. I flew it for a season, flew a gallon through it with the nitro engine, and it's just been sitting. So I took that 62V 4-stroke off and sold it, and used the money to buy this. This is an NGH 9cc gas engine. You can see the cute little spark plug there at the top. And it's on my little cheesy test bench here that I clamped to a workmate to run it. Little dude started up and ran just great right out of the box. This is a break-in prop. It's an 11.6, but I'll probably run an 11.7 or a 12.6 once I get a little fuel through it. But it drops right into the same mount that the OS was in, although the hole spacing is a little bit different, so I bought a fresh mount that I'll probably put on there instead of having extra sets of holes in there. It's electronic ignition. This is the ignition box. It's actually made by RCXL, which is the same brand that makes the ignition boxes for, all the modern gas engines. I'm going to run the ignition. This is actually my receiver battery. It's a 2-cell life pack. But I'm actually going to run the ignition off of a 2-cell LiPo, a little 1000 milliamp. So I had to move things around. Throttle push rod was on this side for the glow engine. Somebody is texting me incessantly. Oh, hi, James. So it's going to have to go over on this side because that's the way the throttle lever is on the new engine. Not a big deal. The problem I was running into is the fuel tank. I had a small 6-ounce tank in here, a Dubro, but it's one of the short tanks, and the clunk just doesn't work very well in a short tank, and it especially doesn't work well with Tygon tubing. So I bought this. This is an 8 or 9 ounce, 260 milliliters, whatever that is. Unfortunately, it's only a 2-line. I really needed a 3-line, but I couldn't find one this small with a 3-line setup. So I'm gonna have to put a T-fitting for fueling out here. It's kind of a pain. I also had to cut some material out from in here. It's still kind of crude looking at this point because I was just using a cutoff disc to hog it out because this tank wouldn't fit, and I needed to push it further back so that I could get the ignition system in front. So the tank's going to sit right about there, which will mean minimal CG changes when the fuel runs down. The ignition system will fit in front of it now. And then, of course, I have to cut access holes to get the ignition lead out. Fuel and pressure lines came out here with the old setup, and I'll do the same thing for fuel and vent. And then this, I'll probably just cut a notch on the side for under the hatch and run it out up to there. But I think it's going to work. I don't know CG-wise whether the flight and ignition batteries are going to go up here or whether they're going to sit back here. We'll figure all that out once I get the motor mounted and check the CG, but it's looking pretty good. And the weight should be about the same, maybe a 1/4 pound heavier. But this has the equivalent power of a 42-stroke, so they say. And the prop size is about what you'd run on a 42-stroke. You usually ran a 10.6 or 11.7 on those. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a fun, retro-style, yet non-traditional ugly stick. I mean, there's hardly any wood in it, and it's got a gas engine instead of glow. But at the end of the day, it's still an ugly stick and still flies like an ugly stick. So it's kind of fun, and I'm looking forward to flying it. The other thing that's going on is my 70-inch Stik. I've finished the repairs on it and gotten it basically ready and ordered all the stuff to go in it. I've got GDW servos, which are massive overkill, and finally made the decision to go electric on the Stik, mainly because that's a 2008 vintage Stik, and the gas engines that were available then were much shorter than the ones available now, and the modern ones just wouldn't fit on the motor mount box without a whole lot of work that I didn't want to do. So it's going electric with this big honking guy from Sunny Sky, 30cc equivalent. It's a 7015 200 kV. Going to be running it on 12S 3400 packs and 20x8 prop. It should be a monster. At least that's what I'm hoping. Also, probably since the last video, the RV8 has been canopy lost, rebuilt with a foam one, and made into like a little P-51-ish looking thing. Still flies as good as an RV8. Lots of helicopters still on the wall, having a lot of fun. Also having a lot of fun with combat. We've been using these Versa wings made out of Dollar Tree foam board. They fly astonishingly well. If any of you guys haven't tried one of these simple little Versa wings, try it. you'll be blown away by how good they fly. I usually hate flying wings, don't like the way they fly. Also, they're usually pushers, which sound terrible. This one is obviously not a pusher, and they just fly amazing. So got a couple of them up here. This is my new primary, and that's the backup that's already had some combat damage. We're gonna have another, probably one or two more combat sessions this month in our club, or this year in our club, and a lot of fun, a lot of carnage. What else is going on? Oh, this guy's new since last video. One of our club members is moving out of the area and needed to downsize his fleet, so this is a free wing T-33 80 millimeter. Flies great. I've got it set up with a Hobby Eagle A3 Super 4 gyro, which is a really good gyro, as I've found. Very impressed with that little guy. Its programmability and the modes that you can set up really, really works great. And this jet just is so smooth and so nice to fly. Really enjoy it. It's a little rough looking. It's had some mishaps in its life, but still flying and looks great in the air, and that's about all that matters. This little guy, don't know if you've seen it before, it's an older E-flite Spitfire. Coincidentally, got from the same club member. He had bought it from someone and rebuilt it, repainted it, and it too flies great. So lots of fun little toys in here. Poor old A7 project, still languishing. I'll get it finished eventually. Got the main gear doors working. Still have to work on the nose gear doors, and just not motivated to work on it. Here's the wing for it. I guess that's about it. That's about all that's new in the workshop. Just wanted to bring you all up to date on the retro stuff I'm doing and this cute little gas engine. And we'll have an update on it after it's finished and flying. And we'll see if I enjoy it or if I'm going to just go back to electric and say to heck with all that liquid fuel stuff. We'll see. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you next time. Maybe see you at the field. Later.